Hi, I am Dr. Jacob Lauritzen, and this is Read, Write, and Cite, the channel where I teach you how to read, write, and cite for your college classes. This video is part of a series about grammar, understanding grammar and specifically parts of speech. This video, I'm going to be talking about adjectives. So, let's get started. Okay. Adjectives are a part of speech that modifies or describes nouns, pronouns. So its job is to add description, to add clarification, to add number and color and categorization and things like that. That's what an adjective does. So, in this video, we're going to talk about how to recognize it, when to use it, and when not to use it. Okay? Sound good? All right, let's do it. Okay. First of all, adjectives can describe things like color, number, or category. If you are trying to describe a noun, which is going to be a person, place, thing, idea, or concept, and you want to add some sort of description to it. Not what they're doing or who they're doing it with or what their relationship to someone is, but to describe them, to describe their color, their numbers, some sort of category. That is going to be an adjective. Because again, when we talk about grammar, we're talking about the function, the job that the word is doing. Not its meaning, but its function. This is what adjectives do. Now, adjectives can show up two places in a sentence. If you've got a noun right here, you can have an adjective immediately in front of it. In fact, you can have several all stacked up together, all adding description and clarification about the noun that you're describing. You can also connect a noun to an adjective later in the sentence with a verb. This is going to be like a state of being verb, like is, something like that. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you're describing me. Okay, our sample sentence. The teacher was smart. At least I hope. Okay, we actually have two adjectives in the sentence. One here and one here. Right here is the noun that's being described, and right here is the verb. Okay? So this one is describing it here. It goes immediately in front of it. We're going to talk about the word the in just a second. And smart is describing the teacher. It's over here, but it's connected with the verb later in the sentence. Okay? So, let's talk about this. We can see an adjective either immediately in front of the noun in the sentence, which is telling us it's describing something before we get to it, but it's telling us the kind of thing that it is. In this case, we're using the definite article, the. We're going to talk about that in a second. And later, we're describing the characteristic or the attribute of the teacher by using the adjective here, smart. Now, you can put the smart teacher, smart could be here, it could be all sorts of places, but these are the two kinds of places where you're going to see an adjective in a sentence. Immediately in front of it, maybe with multiple adjectives, or later connected with the verb like was, is, am, is, are, was, were. Words like that, okay? Now, why is this important for you to know? Well, if there's a mistake in your writing, a mistake caused by maybe an adjective out of place. It may seem like you're describing something that's not there, or you're describing the wrong word. Understanding the placement of an adjective not only helps you to identify it, but to see if it's out of place. Does this make sense? Okay, let's talk about the word the. The is a special kind of adjective called an article. Articles, they help identify how definite or indefinite a noun is. there are only three articles, three of this special category of adjectives. A and an are called indefinite articles, and the is called a definite article. What do we mean by definite? Think of it as specific. If you know a specific person, place, thing, idea, or concept, something that you're going to describe, a noun, you're going to use the. If it's more generic or you don't know who or what it is, you're going to say a or an. These are going to show up really often in writing. In fact, if you pull open any sentence, a book, anywhere, you're going to see these words all over the place, immediately in front of the noun that you see. There may be another adjective in between it, but you're going to see them. So why? Why these words? Why do they show up all the time? Let me explain. Basically, it comes down to this. As the English language developed, there are certain rules or guidelines that we developed as well. When it comes to nouns, it became part of what we normally do to identify how specific or definite that noun is. Specifically, if it's a singular count noun, we're going to see an article basically all the time. Let me explain what a count noun is. A count noun is a noun that can be numbered, like the number of dry erase markers. You can count it, it's a count noun. But if it's something more ambiguous, like water or sunshine, something that you can measure, but it's kind of ambiguous and broad, that's a non-count noun. Non-count nouns, they don't have to have an article in front of them. But a count noun that is singular does. Let me explain. Let's say we're talking about markers. Okay, so here we have a sample sentence without the article in front of it. Marker was red. But it feels like something's missing, right? We need to say a or the, because that helps to identify for your audience how definite or indefinite it is. If I don't know, I could put a. If I do, I could put the. The feels better in this situation. Now, if I made it plural, and dropped my marker, I could say markers were red, but it still feels pretty good to put the in front of it, because I'm being specific in this case. I could say markers are red, and I don't need it because it's grammatically okay. Now, here again is where we come to the point where we talk about grammar is about function, not about meaning. It does affect meaning, but when we're talking about rules, we're talking about the parts and pieces that build sentences, not the meaning that's associated with them. That's a separate topic. That's vocabulary. So here, the word markers as a noun that is a count noun and is plural doesn't need an article in front of it, but it does sound good with it. You can always put an article in front of a count noun, but if it's singular, you're going to need it. Whereas if it's a non-count noun, like water, it's not necessary. You could if you want. If I write water is blue, it doesn't feel like a word is missing at the beginning. It feels fine. See what I mean? It doesn't need to identify whether it's definite or indefinite. Okay, so let's review real fast. An adjective is a part of speech that's going to modify or describe a noun or pronoun in a sentence. That's its job. That's what it does. The way it describes it is either immediately in front of it or later in the sentence. It's going to add some sort of clarity. It can identify a number, a color, some sort of category about it. There's a specific kind of adjective called an article. These are the words a, an, or the. A and an, they're indefinite articles, and the word the is a definite article. They help to identify for your reader how specific or unspecific you're being in referencing that noun that you're talking about. There are some rules for how to use them, but basically it comes down to this. If it's something that can be numbered and it's singular, it's going to need an article. If it's not, you can choose to add an article, but you don't have to. I hope that this video helped to explain kind of a big topic, hopefully pretty simply. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I'm Dr. Jacob Lauritzen. This has been Read, Write, and Cite. If you thought this video was good, please like it in the comments and share it with someone that you think it could help. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.